Recording in progress. That's
Wow.
fantastic.
So,
Staff, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, super intelligent shades of this color sky blue pink. Welcome, welcome. Let me get rid of this hat. It's in the way. That's more
there he
better.
is. There he is.
That's more better. Right, yes, yours truly, the Field Marshal here with my very special guest, Charlene, who is one of these people who has come up with this crazy idea that eating nothing but animals is the thing. Tell us all about
Yes.
that. Go.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Yes. Well, it started a long time ago, Bart, I gotta say. I'm gonna give my age here.
Mm.
So, I'm 53. So,
Ah,
my story really starts when I was born, 1973.
mm.
And my parents wanted to get me off of breast milk by 3 months. So, I had a little bit. I was given formula and I reacted to everyone. And so they kept me on one that was least reactive. So, it wasn't a horrible way to start out, but it just wasn't the best solid way. When I was 4, I dove into some leaves at nursery school and I had a really bad asthma attack that scared them. And so they called my mom. She came to get me. We went through all the allergy testing, and they had to put me in this papoose thing because I was too fidgety. I was so scared. It's just not fun to do that as a 4-year-old. Anyway, so they found a lot of allergies and I had asthma. So I started shots and I went through all the allergy pills I needed, the drops, the inhalers, all that stuff. When I was in second grade, I remember it was story time, and I had a sore on my eyelid, and I pulled the eyelashes at it, and they all came out, and that feeling of pulling spread. And by the time that day was over, I had pulled all my eyelashes and eyebrows out. So that began trichotillomania all the way through school, middle school, high school, college, and working until I figured out the right diet for me. Around 12, I developed lower back pain and pretty severe fatigue. My hunger was much more than it should have been. I never was obese or anything. I just would eat more than I should, and I was always hungry. And I developed cystic acne, which, it's kind of painful. It's ugly. So, I had patches of eyelashes and eyebrows always gone, and I had this acne, and I was a little bit overweight. It just, you know, kids have it much worse than that, much worse. But that's just my path. So I got through high school, went to college, and I loved art and math, and so I studied both. I was going to major in both, but I ended up minoring in math. But I loved art, so studio art. Um, and at that point, I developed amenorrhea, which is lack of cycles, because I went on a very low fat diet. I wanted to lose some weight. I wanted to feel better about myself. And I lost weight, but I lost my cycles almost immediately. And then the fatigue became so overwhelming. I'd fall asleep in class. It's part of why I just couldn't major in math because I really needed to be with it and I wasn't sharp enough. Yeah, I couldn't do it. But I loved art, so I kept going with that. And so also that's when the depression just completely enveloped me. I just felt like I was watching life from behind a curtain, a black curtain. Just there was nothing I was excited about. There was nothing I felt like I was really living. I just felt like I was going through movements and not being able to enjoy life at all. Even though I was young, I didn't have any excitement at all. And the darkness was getting darker and heavier at that point. But I graduated and I got a really great job at Navistar, which they engineer and design international brand trucks and buses. It's the split diamond you see all around the world, medium, heavy duty, severe service, school buses, all that stuff. And I was in the design center. I was within industrial design, and it was like I couldn't believe it. My dad worked there as an engineer, my uncles, my cousin, it was this family. place, but they were the engineers. I was the artist. It was cool. But I was exposed to a lot of chemicals at that point, a lot of paint. Um, the clay models, the life-size clay models of these trucks were just feet away from my desk. And I always had a smell of like this burning clay. I don't know if that's toxic, but with that and the stress, it was a very high stress job. A lot of like advertising and art type things that the pressure is very, very high. And so, with all that combined, I just kept going downhill. And at this point is when I met Joe. And he was into art and music, just like me. And then he was still single. He was 15 years older than me, but it didn't matter. We were introduced, and I knew right away that was the guy for me, you know. But at this point, my health was failing, and he kind of got to know me becoming unwell. But he was all about family. It was all about fitness and health. And so it's like we became a team together to figure this thing out. So my health kept going downhill. I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease because my back was just getting so bad. I thought, what the heck, you know? And I had insurance, so I went and yeah, they found degenerative disc in two places. Um, and I we kept pursuing the mainstream medical. But that's when things just really, really got bad. A couple months before our wedding, I went on the birth control pill and I went on tetracycline. And tetracycline I had taken when I was young, uh, and it helped a little. And I thought maybe it could help me a little bit feel better about myself for my wedding. But it just created the two drugs about the same time. They created this vertigo. My poop turned green. I mean, not that that's a horrible thing, but it was just like an indication that something was off. But I then started to binge. And I'd always overeaten, but I binged. I mean, like really bad. And just toward the end of us turning things around, I started to purge. I started to make myself vomit. And the things that my dad was always worried about, and I told Dad, I've never done that before because I hadn't, but now I was. And there's so many things about it, it just completely destroys you with how you feel. And you don't have any control over anything. I should probably back up and say also, my grandpa was a doctor. And so we had a lot of medications on hand, a lot of antibiotics. So as a child growing up, I had a lot of strep throat and I took antibiotics often. We sometimes wouldn't even get the swab test done. I would just take the antibiotics and that and any kind of medication we needed, we had. So that was probably overdone as a child. So another background part of me, but we got married. It was fine. I did not feel well. Even with all that adrenaline, we left before anybody else, and not because of we were excited to leave. I was just completely worn out. I just wanted to go. And we knew at that point something had to change. We had already experimented with low carb, and Joe already knew about a meat-only diet just because of Vince Garanda and Marilyn Monroe getting ready for movie roles, getting ready for a fight, a boxer with a fight. A lot of times steak was used, steak and eggs and coffee, you know, that combination. And these were people that were doing it for an optimal purpose. They weren't just doing it because it worked a little, it worked optimally. And it just always felt right. First, it felt right to get rid of the grains and go low carb. That felt right. That was hardly out there. This is 1998. That was hardly spoken of. The word keto maybe was just being talked about. I can't quite remember exactly. But low carb is definitely, the time frame there when we tried that. But we felt like, okay, we're getting somewhere a little, but we're not there yet. I had way too many problems. And so This is the era when we knew, and we always say it was about August 8th, which is when we were married, 1998, that we said we've got to make a change. We had already known about it. We got to do it. We got to just go full in. We had no idea, Bart, that there were doctors over 100 years ago that were using an all meat diet for all sorts of patients with all sorts of problems. I would have done anything for that information. I would have given up everything I owned to know that. We didn't know that, you know? That didn't come till later. Seeing the books that were written and hearing about these different things and the ketogenic diet and all that stuff. So, but it took us a long time to figure out enough to that I had to be picky. I had to be very picky. And we would test things and they would fail and we would test more things. We became guinea pigs. We really did. Okay, so I kept going a little bit further with the medical. And I went back to allergy shots. And oh my gosh, that was a really bad idea. I had had them as a child. I took them for years as a child. I gave them up and I can't remember when, but it had been a number of years. So I went back to them. And this time when I had every single freaking one within 24 hours, I would become paralyzed. It would start with my fingers and my toes. It would work up my limbs. And then once it got to my core, I was pretty much paralyzed. So I told the office what happened. And they said, no, 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 that it wouldn't be the shot. We keep you there for 20 minutes to make sure you don't have an allergic reaction. I said, yes, I know that. And I know why you do that. But this is something within the shot. There's nothing else that's changing in my life. It happens every single time. And they said, no, no, it wouldn't be that. I thought, well, it is. But I kept going a couple more times, and sure enough, it would happen again. So I had to be carried out of work. I had to be carried out of places that I would be because I don't know when it would happen, but it would happen every single time. So I stopped those. But now my body had this thing that it would do if I overwhelmed myself. I would start to get paralyzed. Like if we tried something that didn't go well and went pretty poorly, that's now how my body would respond was with this paralysis. And so sometimes it would stop before it became all the way to my core, but a lot of times it would go all the way to the core and I'd have to wait it out like a half a day or a day before I'd get feeling and movement back in like I'd normally feel. So we were just devastated, but there were some small wins, especially because we were on an all meat diet. We did bring things back in occasionally just to test them out. They'd be horrible fails. Fine. I have no problem failing. I mean, failing is we think of as trophies that we're sticking on the wall all over the freaking place. I mean, I've got a trophy room, Bart, of trophies. I've got, we've got so many fails. I had a really, really hard time feeling like I would ever win. Joe is the one that kept me going because he could see little things more than I could. I was still so mad because so many things failed, so many things did not work. Even in the animal kingdom, it just did not work for me, but certain things would. So when I was able to eat enough, I was able to start my period again. Enough animal fat. And then I've had two pregnancies, home births, nursing, no problems, all that stuff. We found an alternative MD. She diagnosed me with Lyme disease. She tested me with the ELISA and the Western blot. And so combining those with my symptoms, it's like, okay, we're dealing with Lyme disease. It's kind of nice to have a name to it, along with the trichotillomania, the amenorrhea, the degenerative disc, and this, and then lots and lots of other little tiny things that bothered me, but whatever, those were the main things. But we had to use diet. We couldn't use medicine. We couldn't use homeopathics. I couldn't use supplements. It was diet only. So it took us about 6 years to figure out it was all about an all red meat diet for me and fatty. I had to be fatty with it. And we were finding out some of these books. You know, we were reading about New Bowl and we were Blake Donaldson and all these different types. It was all starting to come together. We were all about pemmican for a long time. So pemmican's the dried meat mixed with the tallow. Okay. At that point, that was like the best thing I'd ever put in my mouth, but that wasn't as ideal as what we found later, and that's the ribeye steak. And we found zeroing in on health around 2009, 2000, yeah, about 2009. And at that point, we could not believe there were other people in this world that would accept the fact that you don't have to eat vegetables, especially, let alone carbohydrates. And zeroing in on health was like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. There are people that are doing this. These are our peeps, man. So that gave us much more confidence because everybody was kind of against us about it. I mean, our friends weren't as much, but our family members definitely were. We definitely had to kind of sever relationships with some people because they didn't have our best interest in mind. I mean, this was survival, we had to figure it out. And we knew what we were doing was so different, and everything went against medicine and pharmaceuticals and all this stuff. And we weren't doing it just because of that. We were doing it because of results. So trichotillomania went away. The amenorrhea went away. The degenerative disc went away. But I had to be picky, and sometimes it took a while for me to get to that point. And the Lyme disease and all that stuff, I never got retested or anything like that for any of this stuff. I've not seen a doctor or had any kind of test for over 20 years. So, because I don't need it. We also didn't have medical insurance, but it's all right. We took so many risks, that's fine. But to manage my pain, to manage the symptoms of Lyme that I felt, I have to eat right. It's a daily choice, and I still do it. And it was freaking hard. I hated the process, but I'm here. Sean Baker. Oh, I don't know if you know our backstory of why we went silent. Have you
No,
heard
no.
that? Okay. Well, okay, so I said we joined Zeroing In on Health. And Esme is a lady there that that asked if we would do some interviews. She wanted to interview the people that have been doing this for a while, because there were some really interesting stories. And we thought, okay, it's a small little group, whatever. As soon as we did ours, because it was a family of four, it went viral. And Wheat Belly shared us on their Facebook page. Serial killers shared us. It went everywhere. Daily Mail was calling us, us, wanting to do an interview with us. National Examiner slated this spread of our story and our picture and our name for the next magazine going on this grocery store shelves. A Japanese TV station wanted to come and live with us a while. We're like, come on, we're just going to be made fun of. We don't want our boys growing up this way. We're not going to do it. And then Child Protective Services was threatening on us, and local people, out of town people were threatening us. It's like, what the heck? Fine. I hate how humans, if they don't understand something, they react with anger. It's just so weird. I don't like that characteristic about us humans, but unfortunately that's the way we are. Not all of us, some of us. So we went silent, and but Sean Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, we watched all the interviews. We watched everything happening around us and the spread of the carnivore diet, which is what it became. What used to be called zero carb or all meat diet, but now it's called the carnivore diet. So Sean Baker was doing an interview, and he mentioned being interested, especially when he saw an older guy that was in shape, looked good, didn't do a whole lot of exercise, and was doing the carnivore diet. And when we heard that, we thought, I wonder if he's talking about Joe from our original interview. And so he didn't say. And later he'd posted on Twitter, and Joe responded to what he was saying. And he said, this guy right here, this is the guy. So we knew then that Sean was talking about Joe, which was cool. And we also kind of had a little relationship with him. He asked me to be the first story when he started his Meat Heals website portion of success stories using the diet. He asked me if I would mind starting it off. And I said, oh, okay, I'll do it. So I did. And then he also decided to write the Carnivore Diet book. And he asked if I'd be in there. And so I'm the first story in there under Charlene. And so I was able to contribute a little. And but I felt fairly protected in that way. You know, we'd promised our boys we wouldn't do anything until they were older. So now they're 19 and 21, and I feel like it's time. It's time for me to get out there, and there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, they're older, and the carnivore world is so big and now, and things are so much more accepted than back in 2015 when our initial interview came out. So
Mm. And if
went to
people are
meat
looking at
stock
some
and
nutters in the carnivore community to pick on, they can pick on me before anybody else, can't they?
whatever. They
Yeah,
pick their people they get on, but
yeah.
people were not ready to hear about children being born and raised on an all meat diet. They just
Mm.
could not believe that we didn't give them vegetables and that we didn't promote that and fiber and all, all this stuff,
But sugar and food coloring and processed foods and all of that sort of stuff is perfectly okay and normal. Nothing to see
Yes,
here.
yes, right.
Mm.
We said we could write a book called Playground Nightmares because we'd watch these parents give their children these horrible foods, snacks, and then the kid would act up, and then they'd get yelled at, they'd get punished. And we're thinking, you know, parents just don't, they're not doing the right thing. You don't get on the kid after you give them something crappy like that. What are you thinking?
Mm.
And these kids would be so out of control and so irritated and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. All right. Well, that is quite some story, young lady, I must say. Quite some story indeed. What do you
Yes.
think, Ted? Yeah, it's quite a
Yeah.
story.
Oh,
Mm.
yes,
Thank you,
that's
Ted.
sad.
You twiddle the knobs like a good lad, good boy. Somebody has to.
I'd like to know what
Mm.
Ted eats. I'd like to know what Ted eats.
Ted, being a bear, eats an omnivorous bear diet when he's eating. It's winter here now, so he's actually should be asleep, shouldn't he? Well, he is asleep.
Oh,
Goodness,
yes.
goodness
So I don't
gracious.
know
He's
why
gone
he
straight
went
back to sleep
upstairs.
again. It's somewhere south of 32 degrees here right now.
Mm.
And so bears are wellies. Anyway, good boy. Good boy. You do your thing, Ted. Yes, so at the end of the day, it's as I say, a hell of a story, and you've clearly done the hard yards and worked it out for yourself as to what's going to work for you and all of that. So tell us, what is your diet like? What does work for you?
Okay. Well, ribeye
Hmm.
is, it's been ribeye since about 2009, 2010. It's hard to remember.
Mm,
We do have journals stacked up. Joe still has them. I threw mine away because I was so mad sometimes. I
mm,
threw lots of stuff away. But Joe kept his, and I know I could look through. But I think it was around 2009. We tried ribeye again. And then we went down that road of how best to fix it. And so we've
mm,
experimented with all sorts. How to buy it, how to store it, how to fix it, when to eat it, how much, blah, 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 all that stuff. So personally, I eat twice a day. I don't
mm.
weigh stuff, but I know around what I need, and
Yep.
it's super fatty.
Hmm.
So we buy it untrimmed in the big primals
Yep.
in cases of them, and Joe cuts them, and then we vacuum seal them. So they're nice and fresh every time we open one up. And I eat about a pound and a half to 2 pounds raw, but then we cook it. We cook it to a medium well done. And
Mm,
I try to shoot for around like 1 part white fat to 3 parts red meat. That's
yeah.
about what works for me. It's never ever the same. Good. They're animals, they eat differently, they taste differently. Every steak tastes different, and I love it.
Mm,
You know? And there are seasons where they're fattier than sometimes they're super marbled, sometimes they're not marbled at all. Sometimes the fat's super saturated, sometimes it's not quite as saturated. That's what our body's like. It likes that change, you
yeah.
know? And so I eat twice a day. I eat
Mm,
around 8:30, and then I eat around early afternoon, so around
mm,
4 or something like that.
mm,
If I feel like I need more food, I eat a little bit. Joe eats once a day at night, so if I'm a little hungry, I'll have him make a little extra steak and then I'll eat a little with him.
Mm.
So, and then sometimes in the morning, he'll have a little bit of ours if we can't eat it all, but usually I eat it all.
Hmm.
But the boys and I eat about, they eat the same schedules I do. But
Right.
Joe does eat one meal a day,
Okay.
and it's big. Yeah,
So just steak?
just ribeye steak, and
Nothing
we
else?
drink water. No.
Right.
If I want to
So,
feel bad, I mean, okay, if I travel, I will take pemmican or pemmican the carnivore bar, we used to make our own, but we don't even have the equipment for that now, so I'll buy that. I don't really do well with leftovers, so I do better with something like pemmican than I do with leftover. Like some people cook a ribeye and they'll chill it and then they'll put it in their purse and eat it at the airport or something. I just don't feel as well with that. So I always follow what makes me feel good. And if something doesn't, then I stop eating it.
mhm.
So plain and
Now, you
simple.
know, these extreme diets, these extremely limited diets are very bad for you, Charlene, don't you?
I know that, Bart. I
Mm.
don't give a rat's ass. Sorry.
Excellent. Great answer. Or another answer, the one that I often use if I'm not using something as direct as the one that you've just used, is something like, well, I'll tell you what is
Sorry,
extreme.
everybody. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. People are well used to that on my channel. I can promise you they're all about next Tuesday.
Yes,
So,
I know that because we
mm.
watch you all the time. So
Well, that
yes.
shows very poor judgment. It really does, I must say. Anyways, there you go.
Yes,
Yes, if I'm
right.
not being quite so direct, I can say things like to answer like extreme diet,
I know.
extremely limited diet. I say, look, I'll tell you what really is extremely limiting. Living a life which is both foreshortened in its tenure and also of poor quality while ever I am alive. Being unhealthy all the time, that's pretty limiting.
Yes. And
If
that's what I
limiting
would
your
have had.
food gets you to a point where you can be happy and healthy, just because it's not what everybody else might be doing, why would somebody jump up and down about that?
All right.
Mm,
I freed myself. The
yes.
more restrictive I became, the freer I felt. There's nothing else about it. And then I started having a life when had no life.
Mm,
None. There was
mm,
nothing waiting for me. Nothing. I
right.
had nothing to live for
Mm.
except
So
for pain and
luckily that was taken care of by the fact that you died a long time ago of scurvy.
yes.
Mm,
Yes, and all my teeth fell out.
yes.
Yes, right.
Mm,
Mhm. No.
yeah.
No, sorry. The
Yes.
littlest bit of vitamin C
Yeah.
is all that we need if
Yeah.
you don't eat sugar. And then there's wonderful indigestible bits in steak, especially that act like fiber does, but we don't have to have vegetation. So there you go.
Okay. Indigestible bits and steak. Goodness gracious, I won't have it.
Yeah.
Ted won't have it
Yes.
either, will you, Ted? Ted? Can't do a thing with
Wow.
him. Can't do a thing with
Uh,
him. It's
he's trying to go
dreadful.
back to sleep.
Well,
Just
he
let
is
him be.
trying, but he's made an appearance. That way I've got to pay him as appearance fee for the session, you see.
Okay. All right,
That's why
fine.
you should all super chat us, really,
Okay.
to help. I mean, Ted's got an appetite for drama
I
as
guess.
well as for food. Yeah. Goodness
Mhm.
gracious. Yeah. Okay, so we've worked out that you're eating basically a lion diet, which is fine. Do you are you up with the salt? Are you taking salt? Are you not taking salt? Where are you at with the salt
Oh
thing?
no.
No salt?
I do not have salt.
Hmm.
I have experimented with salt.
Mm.
There's something about sea salt that really gets I always call it bacteria. Like I have a bacterial feeling about
Okay.
it.
All right.
I don't know if it just messes up my gut biome more. I don't know if it has slight marine life still in it somehow. I don't know. It just does not work for me.
Okay.
Um, Redmond's, maybe because it's a land salt, works. If I have to have it, then that would be the salt that I would choose is Redmond. But I like steak without salt, and I tend
Nice.
to gain a lot of swelling, and I tend to cramp. I
Mm.
tend to feel dark
Yeah.
with salt. So I
Right. They're
don't
all
want
good
to
reasons
feel
not to
that
salt
way.
for you. Yes, your mileage will vary on salt. There is it's one of the things that does vary quite a bit between people is the need for salt or not, and
Mhm.
your instinct around salt. is probably the thing that's most adept to inform one on one's salt requirements.
Mhm.
I do add salt to everything. Love
Mhm.
salt. I do well on salt. I like salt.
Oh,
My
I
stomach
love
doesn't have salt.
salt.
Mm,
I used to salt salty things,
right.
but things changed. But I know tons of people like you that
Oh,
do
I don't think you
great
know
with salt.
anyone
And
quite like me, Charlene, to be fair.
well, that is true. I probably should reword things. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm,
But some people can't digest the meat well unless they salt. I mean,
yeah.
there's all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
you
Okay.
do
So
you,
you don't need
Bart. Come
salt.
on.
You're not one of those that needs salt. So that's good. All right. Tell us
No.
about the coaching.
Well, like I said, I re-entered the carnivore world, went to meat stock, and then I decided to do the CCI course because I really felt like if I want to properly help someone with their carnivore diet journey, I always I believe in education that's correct. And there's so much good about that CCI program. Bart, you're a part of it. You're part of it. You are in there and you talked about your 30-day versus your 90-day trial. I love that.
Mm,
Eddie Goki has part modules in there and
yeah.
all sorts of things. Anyways, I believe it's a very good um, full approach to what you need to know as a person to help someone through their journey trying to reach carnivore. I've been through a lot. I know a lot. I've had lots of questions asked over the years, same with Joe. People have written us all along about things. But I just felt like I really wanted to have a program and a certification that people could feel good about when they come to me as a carnivore coach. So I just felt like it was a good combination. So I got that a little while ago, and just now I'm going to be getting my strength and conditioning certification through
Nice.
CCI as well. So, and
Nice.
then I'm going to go through the blood analysis, the analyst portion, and then the histamine portion too. So CCI has those four courses, and I'm going to do each one. So I'm just prioritizing the ones that I feel I want to do. And I'm happy that I've done that. I really am. So,
Awesome. All right.
yeah.
So when you're coaching someone and you're talking to someone about the carnivore diet, etc., and they tell you that they have other options that they go to other than steak and that other thing that usually goes with steak. Mm-hmm.
Well, water.
Well,
I mean, I drink water.
no, that's not really quite how the song goes, though, is it? The song tells you what you should have with steak, perhaps. Anyways, if someone tells you that they're not 100% lion diet, obviously what you do is you berate them, beat them around the head, and ask them for their carnivore card back. Tell them they did it wrong and they
Sure.
never really were a carnivore. Is that right?
No, not at all. I try to find out where they are in their eating, what they're willing to do, what their goals are, and I try to work around that, Bart.
Mm,
That's what I do.
mm,
And I try to be an encourager for getting their getting themselves as healthy as they can be. And even if that includes things other than being strictly carnivore, because some people occasionally need to throw in something. Healing may be very, very hard for them. There may be something about eating an all meat diet that doesn't work 100% of the time for people. I'm very, very open to people's situations, and I just like to push them a step further, closer to better health and encourage them. That's to me the goal. It's not to get I don't want everybody eating all my ribeyes, Bart. So, no,
mm.
it is not about a one size fits all at all. It's just what I found to work for me. And it's very
Right.
small and it's fine. I'm fine with it.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. Yes, I don't want everybody eating all my ribeyes either. I can look out the window right now and I can see some of my ribeyes. Those that don't know, about 2 years ago, Pim and I decided that we would branch out and we would finally jump in the deep end and we would buy a small ranch, a small farm holding, if you like. So we were raising beef and sheep and goats and ducks and chickens and 2 small mad dogs and any number of waifs and strays here. And oh my God, buy a farm, they said, it'll be awesome. They said.
I've been watching on Instagram. I watch all of your life with this exciting thing that you're doing. So
Well, it is
now,
exciting, but it's also challenging. It's
yes.
the most challenging thing I've ever taken on, and Ted's pulling its hair out, frankly, aren't you, Ted? Ted?
Mm.
For goodness sake, you can't get the help, Charlene. Can't get the help at all.
I can't help you. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Bart, I
in
have
2 years
a question.
we've had 2 major floods. We've had things breaking. We've had things that we don't know how to fix. We've had things that we've had to learn how to fix. I can drive a tractor now. Incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Anyways,
Wow.
question. Yes.
Is it an International Harvester tractor?
No,
Probably
it's a
not.
Ford 8810.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, yes, my question.
Mm.
Do you have people that you bring in,
Yep.
work for you,
Yes.
and give them the opportunity to live in this way? You do, don't
Yes.
you?
We have selectively allowed a number of people to come and stay with us for a while. And the arrangement has been, well, we're not employing you. We're not requiring you to work. We're saying there's stuff to be done and your help would be awesome. And you're our guest, sort of thing. Nonetheless, there are still tax implications on that, believe it or not. So we still have to
Of
pay
course.
tax on it. But anyway,
Okay.
whatever, that's not the point. Again, that's been a learning curve because we've had some people here who have been absolutely awesome and who have done incredible things and helped us in a huge way and shared some of their knowledge with us about some things that has been really useful, as well as just physically mucking in and getting things done.
Mhm.
We've also had some people here who were frankly taking the piss, and it was a waste of our time. It was a waste of their time. They were a waste of space. They were a waste of resources. Um, the first people that we had here were a couple of very young kids, and we wouldn't do that again.
Mm.
For a number of we hummed and hawed and thought, oh, this is whatever. But seeing it was a brother and a sister, one of whom was legally an adult, and the other one who was so close as makes no odds, we thought, okay, whatever. And so they came, and that was as it was, and they did some good stuff, but they were kids, and they were being kids a bit. So there was that. And then after that, we had a couple of pretty good people separately, but at different times. And then we had another couple that were really bad for various reasons. So, yeah, we've become a bit more selective now and a bit more guarded. The other thing that's happened is that my sister and 2 nieces have moved in permanently to the farm here as well for reasons beyond the scope of this discussion. So we've got a bit less room than we had, which we're dealing with. We're actually going to put a second granny flat up so that they can have their own space and that, because they've been living in my house for 6 months. Love you all, but goodness gracious, just over there would be fine. You know what I'm saying with family? Also, my nephew was here for 6 months as well, helping out and blah, 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 and he's gone back to work. So there's that. So yeah, we're at a stage where we might have people come and help us again. Probably, there are a couple of people that we've had here before that have indicated that they would come again, that we've said absolutely would have you again. And others that have been here that we've gone, yeah, well, if we see you again, we see you again. No, you won't be coming again. So yeah.
Yes,
No.
okay.
Ted says no, don't you, Ted?
Mm.
Absolutely not. No, they're not coming again. No. Anyway, I'm going to go and tool the knobs. Good boy. Oh God, now got to pay him twice for an appearance fee. Incredible.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not paying him. You do it.
Yeah, well, somebody has to, don't they? Come on, Ted. Good boy. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, people come to the farm. It's been good. It's been bad. It's been a mixture. Yes. We've also got a bloke who lives here full time in return for a bit of voluntary help around the place as well. Peppercorn rental sort of thing. Again, same situation, tax implications and all of that, blah, blah, blah. You can't get away from the tax man, Charlene. It's incredible. Even though we're an
No. I mean, you can
independent sovereign
try.
nation, we can try, but you probably shouldn't try, to be fair. You should probably just meet all your tax requirements because they come after you, don't they?
We
Um,
almost didn't register George when he was born because he was
mm,
born unassisted at home.
mm.
And
Doesn't exist,
I
huh?
called my what?
Doesn't exist,
What's
huh?
that?
Mm,
Right, right. I mean, but we talked with my midwife that we had with Charlie, which was my first, and they said, you know what? We understand you want to be off the grid. You'd like him to be off the grid, but you're going to regret it later because there's so many things you need to make sure that they
mm,
exist. It's
mm.
like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine. So we did it anyways.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
That's all. Pretty much. I was just saying that we're an independent sovereign nation, or at least that's what we're claiming. Hence I'm the field marshal, I'm the despot dictator of the place. Actually, it's Ted that runs the show, let's be honest.
I think that's probably best.
And if we're really being honest, Ted's got nothing to do with it either. It's Her Majesty Pim, Queen of Pimbatia, she who must be obeyed. She runs the show here with an iron fist, I tell you. She's also Queen of
Right.
Pirates, Queen of the Ducks, and
Right.
what she says goes pretty much on most things.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah. Oh, you wouldn't believe how wrong I am on everything, to be fair.
I don't
And
know,
right,
Bart. You seem like you're pretty right about most stuff.
but not farming.
I, okay.
Apparently. Yeah.
Different categories may be different. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That is,
There it
yes.
is. Yeah. So yeah, one of these days we might be recognized as an independent sovereign nation, and then maybe the council will stop harassing us for tax.
It'd be
And maybe
nice.
the government will stop harassing us for tax and
Mhm.
stuff. Anyways, in the meantime, we fight the good fight. It sounds like
Yes.
you've been fighting the good fight too, which is awesome.
Yeah, a fight is a good word for it.
Mm,
Absolutely. Yep.
absolutely. Oh, you mentioned off grid too, by the way. And that's one of our goals here is to get to the point where we're entirely independent for resources.
Hmm.
So as such, we've got solar panels, which can produce more electricity than we can use in the daytime. And so we
Oh,
use
that's
what we can
great.
use, and the rest gets pumped into the national grid, which they pay us for. A pittance,
Ah,
of course, but there you go.
nice.
Um, and we
So it's
have,
sunny enough. It's sunny
well,
enough.
yeah, we get enough. We get enough even in the winter. Most days we get enough sunlight to produce something. If it's overcast or rainy or that sort of day, we won't get so much. But there you go. In the summer,
Mhm.
it's just absolutely nuts in terms of how much we can produce. Of course, there's a limit to how much we can pump into the grid without frying it. So, a lot of it actually
Of course.
gets, yeah. And we don't have a battery because they're too expensive for storage and all of that. So it's like, well, that's a waste. Never mind.
Mm.
We have water sorted out. We have our own well.
Oh, nice. Okay. Hmm.
So we don't pay for water and it's not treated with fluoride or anything else. So that's
Good.
awesome.
Wow.
And we live kind of 45 minutes by car to the nearest reasonably sized city, so that's good.
Yeah.
We're surrounded at I'm looking out the window right now. We've got the pines. We're right next to a pine plantation of several 100,000 acres. And then
Mhm.
behind that, we've got the snow-capped mountains behind us. The grass is all white right now, and there's a thick ice on the swimming pool. Perhaps you could come and skate on it.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah.
that'd be ice skates, not roller skates, but
Well, it
yes.
would. Yes, it would. Well, you could put roller skates on the pool and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm all about that.
Up
So,
for the challenge. Yep.
yes.
So,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
there it is. That's Pimbatia in a nutshell. It's cold. God damn, it's cold.
Mm.
It's winter. That's what happens on a round-shaped planet. You guys are having summer, we're having winter. It's
Yes.
incredible how that
Yes. That's
happens.
the way it works. It is absolutely amazing.
Mm.
That's true.
So, there it is. And yeah, other than that, it's farming, it's running the cereal business, it's trying to be a social media influencer. There's a lot of cosplay, dressing up in silly costumes and things. That's always fun.
I asked for it though.
You did, you really did.
This
Literally, you
one,
said, "Can
yes,
you wear that one?" Yes, okay.
yes.
Rightio.
So wait, okay, another question for you.
Yeah.
So this is a reproduction, right?
Well,
It's a reproduction.
yes. You mean
It's
the
not
uniform?
authentic vintage. It's not
No.
authentic.
Okay, so the tunic that I'm wearing is a genuine UK Army surplus. It's not even really particularly vintage. I think they're still using the same thing. That's how things change in, military organizations. It's still the same thing.
Yep.
The decorations on my left chest are they actually look remarkably like American Army decorations. They're not. They're Pimbatian ones that just miraculously look very similar. So I'm not stealing anybody's glory or anything like that or pretending I've done things I haven't done. I've never been a member of any active military anywhere in the world, and I'm not claiming I have. This is a costume. And they
Mhm.
look like American decorations, but they're not. They're Pimbatian meat militia ones that just look the same. And the rest of the stuff you can get online. This is genuine UK epaulets, things that they give for members of general staff. The tires one you can just buy online anywhere. The leather gears and up. It's also got jack boots up to the knees that I can wear as like
Oh,
riding boots. Ooh.
okay.
And
Okay.
I've got the pants that go with this as well. And the doing all of the stuff online and all the buttons and
Mhm.
everything. So yes, I put it together myself. The only thing that I had to actually get made specifically was the cross battens and wreath rank insignia for the field marshal, which you can't
Mhm.
get anywhere.
Okay. Mm. No wonder you had
Mostly,
it.
I think mostly because in the UK Army these days, the rank of field marshal, which is the highest rank that any officer can get in any military, any UK-based military or any of those sort of things, is not really a rank that's even used anymore. It's more ceremonial these days.
Mhm.
Now the highest rank is general, and general is subordinate to a field marshal. So usually what happens is a general that has served with distinction will retire and be made a field marshal.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So whatever. So I had to get those made specifically, but everything else I
Okay.
was able to order online, whatever, and put it together myself. Um, this is
Nice.
just one of many different costumes I have for the Meat Militia presentations and whatever else. I've also got like battle dress uniforms of various different color. The most common one is the bright yellow one because Ted said so. But
Oh,
I've
okay.
got I've
Oh,
got other
okay.
colors of
Okay.
that and whatever. I've also got like a full royal robe and crown and all of that to
Oh,
do,
geez. Wow.
do a king character, which I never really got into doing.
Okay.
But one of these days, who knows?
When did you start liking to dress in costume?
I've always been a bit of a thespian, let's be honest. I
Okay.
was treading the boards by the time I was about 10 years of age. I've always been involved right up until really about my mid 20s in some form of theatre, musical productions, all singing and dancing. I was actually the soloist in my
Okay.
local children's
Oh,
choir.
wow. Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
had quite the singing voice as a child. I never had my
Nice.
adult voice properly trained, but I did sing and play guitar in rock bands until I was
Oh,
about
really?
27 or so.
Okay.
Um, so
Nice.
yeah, the whole theatrical thing has always been a part of, more or less. Then what actually, like they say, every 7 years or so, your personality just changes completely, and you do different things. It seems.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was about 27, I had one of those, buff, and suddenly it was all science, all. So I stopped with the music. I stopped with the theatre productions. I stopped being involved in that, and I just focused on my studies and learned how to be a prim and proper scientist and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then at about 35, there was a change again. So it was more back to the music and less, and anyways, long story short, now I'm in my mid 50s
Okay. Oh
and
boy.
and still
You
kicking and
said
screaming and refusing to grow up and having Peter Pan syndrome. It's great fun.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you sing, are you tenor? Are you bass? What are you? Would you say?
Um, Probably you'd have to
In
say more
between.
more a tenor than anything else, but um
Mhm.
I did have quite a range. And well, I probably still have. I don't train it anymore, so maybe it's gone a bit, but I did have nothing like Miles Kennedy, but I did have quite a range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm,
Yeah, my husband Joe plays upright bass. He
okay.
played upright bass in a
Boom,
rockabilly
boom,
band,
boom,
and
boom,
that's
boom,
yeah,
boom.
slap
Yeah,
bass.
right. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
cool.
yeah, we were both into music and art. So yeah, he was a
There you
fine
go.
art painter too,
Yeah.
and did realistic watercolor paintings.
Mm,
They were really amazing.
mm.
It's
When I was a
aged.
kid, I used to get my mum's old tights that she'd finished with, and I'd put one pair on the bottom half with some jocks over that, bright red jocks, right? And I had bright red gumboots that I'd put on, and then I got another pair of her old tights, and I'd cut the crotch out of that, pull that over my head. That's the arms of it. Then I'd get a cape, and I had like I'm anything man. As I say, this has been a
Well, you stayed
lifelong thing.
consistent at least.
Yes,
You
now I
just
can
kind of
no, I
buried
can
it.
still do anything I like. I'm still
That's true.
immune to blah de blah de blah. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Mm,
Oh, Bart. Well, I just still can't believe that after all these years of watching you,
mm.
that I'm sitting here on your show. It's just surreal, honestly.
I get that
And
quite a bit, and it's really weird for me because I've always been, just me, really. And well, I say I've always been just me. I mean, when I'm doing online stuff, other than interviews, if I'm doing Who's Wrong on the Interwebs or even Q&A sessions to some degree,
Mhm.
it's always been this character of the rough, gruff, grumpy professor, everybody,
Fine.
which I did for hooks, but
Mhm.
to get people to watch.
Sure.
And it just
And it
became a
works. It works.
it worked to a degree. It works to a point where it gets me a certain level of audience, but it's also now become a handbrake because a lot of people don't like it. It's like, oh, it's really
Yeah.
unpleasant to watch, blah blah blah,
Yes,
whatever.
yes, yes. Okay.
So I'm making some changes around that on my main channel, and doing other sorts of videos there, which are more commercially viable and all that kind of stuff I absolutely revile and hate doing and whatever. But whatever. Um,
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, when ask anyone when the cameras aren't rolling, I'm just like any other bloke.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. That's what people said, and that's what I experience here too. And
there you go.
but the knowledge that you have is just
Mm,
absolutely incredible. And for you to be able to correct things and make sure that people understand how to listen to science, how to interpret science. This is what people need from you, Bart.
mm,
You just keep doing that. This is the type of stuff that has to come out.
mm,
People have been told so much garbage, so much garbage over the years that they it's like people just lack the ability to speak truth because of all the garbage.
yeah.
So it's people like you that are doing what you're doing and getting it out there and never stopping.
Mm,
And that is what we need. Because truth's going to win in the end. It has to.
yeah.
But it's going to take a damn long time, you
Mm,
know? It takes so long for truth to come out. And I
mm,
hate it.
yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yes, it's actually the Darwinian process, isn't it? The people that can distinguish the truth from the lie, they're the ones that will win through and survive. Because let's face it, the good grown-up, sensible adults at science and at the government are not here to look after your best interests. I'm sorry if that blows some of your illusions about the universe, but that is not what's happening here. This is the test. We're in the test. Some of you have
Mhm.
already failed the test. You don't realize it, but you have failed already.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all need to stand firm on the truth. And the way to stand firm on the truth, in my opinion, is to apply the correct level of discipline in the way that we interpret science, think about science, and communicate with others about science. It's really that simple. I mean, if you had to boil my message down, never mind the theatrics, never mind the characterizations, never mind the sweary, grumpy, cursing people out, never mind any of that stuff.
Mhm.
If people can just get that that's what my message is, we need to stop communicating about what science is able to inform us on with such a low degree of discipline. We need to throw the theology out. We need to throw the consensus out. We need to throw the appeal to consensus authority fallacies out. And we need to go back to first principles. Every single person should be taught the basic disciplines of the epistemology of science, I believe.
Mhm.
In the same way that every child should be taught to balance a checkbook or the equivalent these days, because nobody's got a checkbook anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
to do your taxes,
Mhm.
you know, those kind of basic life skills, how to cook an egg, for God's sake. Children these days, their skill set is limited to this
Mhm.
and going like this. "Huh? Huh?" That's my niece, by the way. "Huh?"
Oh no. Oh no.
And I'm like, oh no, honey. No, no, no. It's I beg your pardon, sir or ma'am, not huh.
If
You
they're
know.
not eating the right diet, their
Mm,
base mental abilities are so much different
yeah.
than if they eat right. If they eat the species specific diet, everything changes.
Mm,
Their mental ability. Think of all these mental illnesses that are out there and all these kids that are relying especially on drugs so that
yeah.
they can pay attention or that they can do any task or whatever.
Mm,
Just change the base nutrition,
yep.
please.
Yep.
Just meat based at least. Just meat heavy,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And then so much, and then their sense of what's true and what isn't should change as well.
Mm,
That intuition should be there. It's
yep.
like lacking in an opposite, really, when we get
Yep.
it so wrong. It's
Anything that
awesome.
the good sensible adults at government and the good sensible adults at science have told you about health and nutrition, you need to basically turn that on its head 180 degrees and then you'll be much closer to the truth. At the end of the day.
Yes.
No, meat will not give you cancer. No,
Right.
cholesterol does not cause heart disease. No, you
Right.
will not be short of vitamin C on an all meat diet. No, you do not need fiber in your diet. No, you do not need 5+ a day. No, you do not need any fruit.
Right.
That covers the
It-
basics.
and diabetes, don't forget.
Oh yes, diabetes,
Yeah.
which apparently, get this, with the theology, and now diabetes, which is an elevation in blood glucose and nothing else, that apparently is caused by eating too much fat.
Wow.
Make it make sense for me, Charlene. I know I'm just a stupid ex-scientist but make it make sense. Help me.
No.
Well, they say lipotoxicity. I've actually covered lipotoxicity
Oh, yes.
very recently in a video on my main channel, which
Hmm.
is the last one I posted, whatever day that was. So if people are interested in that, go and watch that video. It's covered. It's one of 7 vegan delusions that I covered in my vegan delusions video, which did averagely well. I'm not happy with you people.
Mm.
Why are my videos doing averagely well? What's going on? My
Maybe
videos are
TED has to be
gold.
part of it more.
Well,
I
my
don't
videos are
know.
absolute gold, and you need to be there to tell me that they're gold and things.
Yes,
Otherwise, I'll just be
exactly.
relying on Ted to bolster me.
I
Oh
know.
God, he's an
Yes.
idiot. Ted, you can't do a thing with him.
I know. I've noticed.
It's incredible. All right, Charlene, thank
Oh,
you for your valuable time. It's been great. It's been fun getting to know you just a little bit. Your story's incredible, and yeah, you've been through the ringer. So I'm glad that you've come out the other side and you've come up with the right answers for you and your family. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
yeah.
In the meantime, where do people find you on social media and stuff?
Well, I believe they can read at the
Mm,
bottom.
rightio. There you go.
Charlene at Charlene underscore Andersen underscore.
There you
And the
go.
Andersen is S-E-N.
Yes,
It's
not
the
O-N.
Danish spelling.
Right.
So, you know.
Ah,
And then YouTube, it's at Charlene underscore Andersen. No underscore at the end. I probably should have done it. I wasn't thinking correctly. What it is, what it is.
I've got
It's
3 or 4 different handles on different social medias because,
okay. So,
I mean, you and I are of
yeah.
a generation where none of this was around. I mean, you tell the
No.
youth of today and they just don't believe you. We used to drive around in cars, no phones, all around the countryside.
Yes, that's
You know, we used to do all sorts of crazy things. We used to talk to
yeah.
each other,
I
kids.
know. It's so weird.
Mm.
People are together and they're just on their phones. Together, but on their
Ah,
phones. Yes. Oh
ah,
well. It is what it
ah.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh man.
Keep doing what you're doing. It sounds great.
Yeah.
And yep, join us next time when probably someone will be wrong on interwebs because that doesn't look like slowing down, does it?
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Cool. See you then. Ciao.